Okay, now that we know what a proportion is, let's talk about how to solve proportions. So first thing we need to remember is what cross products are. Cross products is when you take a set fractions that are set up like this and you multiply the numerator of each ratio by the denominator of the other. And I'll show you what that looks like. And this is going to be one of those things that you are going to do so often that you're going to get super comfortable with it. It might feel awkward at first, but you're going to do it so many times that it's going to get really comfortable. Okay, so be patient if it's a little tough at first. So cross products means that you do the numerator times the denominator and the numerator times the denominator like that. Now when you have a proportion, if you have a proportion, your cross products will be equal. Okay, it's a good time to pause the video and write this down in your notes, because remember, you want to have that information handy for you. So what that's going to look like is, since I think this is a proportion, I'm going to rewrite this as 6 times 15 and set it as equal to 9 times 10. This, by the way, is another way to check whether you have a proportion, by the way. So 6 times 15 is 90. And 9 times 10 is 90. Those equal each other, so I know for sure that I have a proportion. Okay. Now we can use this strategy of cross multiplying to help us solve proportions. Let me show you what I mean by that with this story problem. Okay. Recently, the exchange rate for Mexican pesos to US dollars was 20.45 pesos to $1. If you were on vacation in Mexico and had 250 pesos left, how many dollars would you receive? So I could write a ratio that is pesos to dollars. Okay? Pesos on top, dollars on the bottom. So I can write the exchange rate as a ratio, 20.45 to 1. Okay? And then I could have another ratio over here. So that's my exchange rate is going to go first in my proportion. And then over here I have 250 pesos. Well, since I put pesos on the top, this pesos has to go on the top as well. And the question is how many dollars you would get back. Like if you were leaving the country and you had to change your pesos back into dollars, how many dollars would you get? The dollars, we don't know how many dollars 250 pesos are, so we're going to put a variable there. We're going to put D. Now, we can cross multiply to find out how many dollars we have. Because since this is a proportion, my cross products will equal each other. So we're going to set it up just like this. I'm going to do 20.45. I'll write it down here so I've got some more room. 20.45 times D. And then I'm going to do 250 times 1. Like this, okay? And now to simplify, I have 20.45 D equals 250. And then to solve this, I want to get the D by itself. So this says 20.45 times D. So to get the D by itself, I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to divide by 20.45. That's going to get rid of the 20.45s there and leave me just with D. I've got my other story problem underneath here, so I'm going to move the D over here. And on my calculator, I'm going to do 250 divided by 20.45, and that gives me 12.224, but it's money, so I'm going to round it to the pennies, also known as the hundredths place. So right now, I looked this up just today. Right now in Mexico, if you had 250 pesos, you would have a whopping $12.22. Okay? So, so again, to review, your strategy is to create your ratio. So we did pesos to dollars, and then with the exchange rate, I put pesos on top, dollars on the bottom, and then over here, you put the pesos you have on top, and D is your variable because that's what you're trying to solve for. And then you go through and multiply them by each other and then simplify to get your answer. So I want you to pause the video and try the same thing with this story problem. recently, and I looked this up just again today, recently the exchange rate for euros was 0.88 euros equals $1. If you were leaving Belgium for the US with 300 euros left, how many dollars would you have? So let's, you pause the video, try to look at this model. It's the exact same type of problem, just different numbers. So look at this model, try to set up your proportion and solve it, and then restart the video to check your work. Okay, so my ratio is going to be euros to dollars. You could do dollars to euros. It's not going to change your answer. So if you did dollars to euros, that's fine. So euros, my exchange rate, 0.88 euros equals $1. I'm going to set that as being equal to the money I have. I have 300 euros, and I would like to know how many dollars that is. So I'm going to cross multiply. That's always your strategy. So I have 0.88 times D equals 300 times 1. And I'm going to simplify. 0.88D equals 300. Now to get the D by itself, I am going to divide both sides by 88 hundredths. It's going to get rid of it there, so I have just D. So if I have 300 euros, that gives me $340.91. Okay? And so that is how you solve proportions. And you could do it even, let me show you one more. You could even do it without a story problem. I might just, a lot of times we'll just see like 7/10 equals X over 20. Okay? And then to solve this proportion, you are going to cross multiply. And so we would have 7 times 20 equals 10 times X. So 140 equals 10X. Then you divide by 10 on both sides, and then X equals 14. They're not always going to be story problems. So why don't you pause the video, and let's have you do one more. Why don't you do, let's do K over 4 equals 21 over 12. Pause the video and solve that proportion, and then restart the video to check your work. All right, so again, we're going to cross multiply, so top times bottom. We're going to rewrite it, K times 12 equals 21 times 4. Then to simplify, I'm just going to reorganize this to 12K, because that's how we write them, whoops, in algebra. And then 21 times 4 is 84. Then I'm going to divide both sides by 12 to get rid of the 12. And 84 divided by 12 is 7, so K equals 7.